Hey. Oh my God. So sorry. I was jumped into the wrong group here. Let me change this around. Chelsea, please forgive me. I don't know. It's just ever since we got back from convention, it's just been one big party. Okay. Is this the right place? Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Let me do this I'm going to do this again. My name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton Sehon, and like I was saying in the other group a few minutes ago, I am a naturopathic doctor, and I've been part of Young Living now for, whoa, this almost fell down on me. There we go. For over 10 years, which is kind of a big deal. For me, it's a big deal. Chelsea. Hey, Ashley, I'll just let everybody catch up here. If you can, go ahead and start tagging people and letting people know that we're here, because I guess I went in the wrong group, but all y'all multiple group people. So I'm a naturopathic doctor. I have traveled all over with Gary. We've been to over a dozen countries. I don't know how many states. I have been a part of some really great research and looking into some things and learning things. He was a great mentor to me and a great friend to me. I know that Chelsea and her family, Jill and her husband and Kathy as well, they've been friends of mine now for over 10 years. And there's just this whole family. I really look up to every one of them. And you guys are so blessed to be a part of this group. And I'm just so honored to be in this group with you guys, to be able to share a little bit. So I have a couple giveaways for you guys. This is going to be kind of a short thing, but I do have a couple giveaways because I only have a little bit of time, but I'm hoping to give you some more resources for you to be able to dive in a little bit more. And by following me and checking out some of these other things that I have listed, you're going to get a lot more information. I have a YouTube that has tons of videos on different things of science and ORAC scale and frequency and animals and frequency and conscious language and how that is a vibration and how different things all work together. And if you do all the things here that I have listed, I do have two giveaways. I'm actually going to give away one of these crystal packs, which I'm going to talk a little bit about. And you may have seen the video because Miss Kathy or Chelsea actually posted a video on the cards with Miss Kathy when we were at convention, or maybe some of you even got a chance to look at these when we were at convention. They just now launched, and I'm super excited. I'm going to go over that a little bit, but I'm also giving away a free membership to a whole year of crystal oils and scripture membership. And in that membership, there are 3 classes that are in there right now. I keep adding, but there's also 120 educational unit posts that go into the science of crystals and oils together. And I'll tell you why, because when I first got into the oils 10 years ago, first of all, I come from a ministry background, and so there were a lot of people who just thought it was weird. And it was a little bit weird, even for me, with my science background and my scripture background at the time. And I love God. I'm not a big religious person. I don't. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But I love God in spirit, and I'm not a big fan of religion. But I do love God in spirit. And when I came from this ministry background and I knew scriptures and whatever, I knew oils were in the Bible, but I didn't have like anyone that I knew that really used them. And so it was just kind of weird to me that, here I was dealing with all these health issues. I was on over 30 different medications, and then some MD, a medical doctor, comes along and it says, hey, sniff this and you're going to feel a lot better. And, it just seemed a little hokey. I had seen people use different stuff, for praying and everything. And all I'm going to say, I can share my testimony, right? So I can. I just get the basic kit, and I had already been understanding frequency. and neuroscience. And so when the doctor starts explaining that the oils go past the olfactory system and the limbic system, and I knew the limbic system is the seat of emotions and the seat of that holds all traumas and different things. There's 5 different ways why people hold on to things which can cause symptoms later. When that happened, I basically was like, you know, if it bypasses the olfactory system and hits the limbic system, and then it tells the limbic system to dump the trauma and dump all the connections to those assignments to the organs, you know, I was like, okay, whatever. But I did it. And when I did, within 16 weeks, I was off all of my medications. And I went, it's a big thing. And I also lost 80 pounds, or released, transmuted, whatever you want to say, 80 pounds. Because when you hold on to emotional things, you also hold on to everything else. And so if you can get rid of your emotional things by transmuting things, then you're also going to let go of the things in your body. Your body will be able to relax and to do its thing. Cortisol levels balance, and it's just a lot. So that's my thing with the oils. Now, when I was into that, you know, like I was real, and I'm still into it, believe me, but I started seeing different things about crystals in the last 3 or 4 years, and it was just kind of, again, a new level of trying to understand frequency and how these all things work together. And I was just like, you know, I'd really like to learn more about it. And when I started looking into it, I found tons of crystal books, which I can give you my list of different ones that I have used over the last few years just to learn a lot. I can give you the links if you're interested in. And of course, there's tons of everything out there on oils now that it's like mainstream. You can pretty much go to the gas station and get oils, and you can Google pretty much anything and find out like how to get help with and support. You know, I'm not saying that the gas station has great oils, obviously, because most of it's propylene glycol, which is why I get a lot of clients who come to me with their eyebrows falling out and diarrhea and throwing up and really, really sick, because they've used some fake oil that they got at TJ Maxx or Best Buy or something, and then they're super sick, and then they blame it on the oils, when it's just like, no, that's not the oil situation. That would be the propylene glycol that's in the oils. I tested 23 companies before I started Young Living, and most of them were 99 and 98% not oil in a bottle. I'm using Divina right now, which all of you, if you haven't got this, oh my God, go get it right now. It is amazing. And I'm just going to say pituitary and pineal. I mentioned that in the other group, and this is my new fave. Like, I've been talking about pituitary and pineal for years and years and years, and I talked about this, but I didn't know how I can get it, and now we can get our own from Young Living. So this is like, everyone needs this, and it needs to go right here every single day, several times a day, and it's amazing. So when I started looking into crystals, I mean, I just found myself really kind of drawn to them and trying to figure out what the connection is as far as frequency, started reading all up on it. And then I knew that if oils had frequency and crystals had frequency, then what in the world would happen if you combined them? And heck, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. And what I couldn't find is any resources that were like in one solid place of, well, you know, what would happen if you use this oil and this oil in a marriage together? I could not find any literature or resources out there that had that. Again, tons of information on Google about oils, tons of information about crystals, nothing that I could find that like married them together. And it didn't make any sense to me, because there are certain crystals that are extremely good for your health, very good for your health, specific organs, frequency, circulation, that kind of thing. Everything that an oil would do, crystals can do too. And why wouldn't you partner them together? I mean, you know, now I will tell you this, the difference between crystals and oils. With oils, if it stinks to you, that means you need it. Interestingly enough, you probably heard that. If you're in this group, you probably have some really good high-level leaders that explain that to you. With crystals, it's different. With crystals, if you're drawn to it, then you need it. And so that's one difference. And I was really drawn to the different blues, like anything blue. Labradorite is like the best. Fluorite, definitely. And I mean, you know, I just found myself, and there would be different times I'd be drawn to one thing or another, just like oils. You know, it's interesting how we can go in and out of phases, but our body is very in tune, and it knows, you know, like what's required. Just like you may wake up and really crave eggs one morning, or even in the middle of the night crave eggs, and it's basically that you need the protein. Maybe you need, you know, peanut butter or meat or something, but your body will crave certain things because it knows that it needs it. So I, in my own desperation of really wanting to study this and to master it, to be able to help me and my team to our very best, I started just, you know, studying and researching on my own what things would actually work together, and made a resource for that because I couldn't find it and I required it for myself. And so then I started using it and applying it with my people, and I was seeing amazing results. And everyone was like, you know, we should just print this and we should get it out and we should like help people, because if frequency is in the oils and frequency is in crystals, then, you know, I believe that there are so many different tools and modalities out there that all provide high frequency, and the highest frequency of all is love. And when we can stay in love and we can accommodate multiple avenues of high frequency, whether it's music, nutrition, sunlight, getting grounded, going to the beach, being in the mountains, sniffing trees, hugging trees. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but there's frequency in nature. You can argue about the sun being a situation, but there's code in the sun. And so the sun isn't bad for you. The sun with chemicals on your body is bad for you, whether it is makeup or sunscreen that you got at Walmart that's full of chemicals. So if you are using the correct amount of sun and you're not having chemicals on your body that can be baked into your skin, then you're going to be fine. And actually it's good for you to get sun because it has code, it has vitamin D, it helps your body make its own vitamin D. But if you're just going out there and you've used soap from a shower or shampoo or deodorant or anything that is going to go into your cells and into your body, and then you go get in the sun, yeah, that's going to be a problem. So, you know, rid your house of the chemicals. It's time to ditch and switch and work on that. But again, I'm getting off preaching a little bit, but definitely it's time for us to get into the purest of all purity and to really focus on the things that are high frequency. And nature is one of them. And you may live in the city. I lived in New York for a while. I lived in London when I went to school, University of London. Believe me, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunities for, you know, trees. So, you know, these oils would have been great because this is something that you can just apply, and you're basically getting the molecular structure of this and the frequency of it and bringing yourself up no matter what the environment looks like. And this changes your biofield. If you want to know more about the biofield, I have a book called The Science of Miracles, and I can talk about that another day too. But so when I put this list together, I came up with this crystal card deck. And what I wanted to do is not just make it about crystals and oils, but also decrees, because conscious language is my thing. And I know you guys know Robert Stevens. I know if you've been at all around Chelsea, then they're definitely all about the conscious language because there's frequency to our words. So what if we actually combined crystals with essential oils and with decrees? You know, here we have this whole beautiful deck of, well, that's not helping. Can you guys see the crystals? There's different pictures of crystals, and you can actually just use the deck as a flashcard where you're just like learning about it, which was really helpful to me. And to this day, I don't have this memorized. I have this all written down in multiple places, and I have these cards to follow up because I use my brain for a lot of other things, and I haven't memorized 80 decks. I mean, there's 80 cards in here. This is a lot of information to memorize, but what you could do is, because when you are drawn to a crystal, what I did, or what you can do, is you can actually just kind of either feel it. If you're a feeler, you just go through and feel and not even look, or you can actually just look and see what you feel you're drawn to, like with your eyes or with your body. Pay attention to your body and pull a card. And you know, when you pull a card, it's 100% accurate that you're going to pull something that you actually require. So for right now, I picked appetite, which is interesting because I just put one in my pocket about an hour ago. I had to change clothes, and so it's in my other jeans. But yeah, kind of interesting that I've been carrying that around, and then here's the card. Now, what we have found out is if you read the back, it goes into an explanation of what appetite is, and it goes and it tells you how it is physically, what it can do emotionally, what it can do physically, and how it can help you to support you. But then it goes into a decree that goes with it, and then it goes into the 4 top companion oils that will best work with this specific crystal. Because believe me, I have done 3 years of research to find out that there are certain oils that work better with crystals. I mean, pretty much anything in the premium kit will work with just about every crystal. But when I did my research, if it gave me the choice to use lavender or Laureus Nobleus, I picked Laureus Nobleus because I'm going to assume that most of you probably have a premium kit. And I put some things that maybe you don't have on purpose, like Melissa or lemon myrtle, or just, you know, something a little bit different, because I want you to expand your medicine cabinet. I want your people to expand their medicine cabinet. And I want to see you guys get some new testimonies and understand that there are more oils out there besides just the premium kit. So this is a way that you can learn, just because of the education. It's a way that you can learn about what oils go with it. And if you're really smart, you can connect the dots, because it's a way to be compliant without being compliant. Because this up here is not compliant. Not compliant at all. We don't have to be compliant when it comes to crystals. Did you know that? So if you are up here and you're reading this, then you know what this does, and you can kind of just make a trail down here and read the companion oils, and you kind of connect the dots and go, oh, so these oils do that. Yeah. So you can learn about the oils, you can learn about the crystals, you can learn about what goes together, you can learn what decree would be best for you to meditate on, say out loud, write in your journal, put on sticky notes. And the other thing I'm going to say that's kind of interesting is we did studies with people who would like pick whatever card that they had, and they would just, you know, do the work for 3 or 4 days, and then they would have their outcome, which was 100% good. And but sometimes people did not have the crystal, like they didn't personally own the crystal that they picked. Now, when we were at convention, they were doing these parties at night, and it was funny. Pamela Hunter spread out a bunch of them on the ground and had everybody go and grab one, just whatever they felt led to without looking. And interestingly enough, I think there was like 8, 10, 15 people. They all grabbed cards, and every one of them grabbed the card of the stone they were already wearing without even knowing it. Now that is kind of like 100% cool. That's really freaking crazy. But I will say that there have been times that people will pick a card and they're like, oh gosh, I don't have that one. Well, guess what? We scientifically proved that when we would test you through muscle testing and or other testing, when you had the crystal and you used the oils and did the decrees, there was a certain frequency and there was a strength to the body. And then we removed the crystal and we gave the person a card. They just held the card of the crystal that they didn't even own, but they owned the card, and they tested just as strong, only having the card, using the oils and doing the decree. So you do not have to go purchase all of these crystals, okay? These happen to be my personal collection, which, you know, I'm just taking one for the team, and yeah, these happen to be mine, and trust me, this wasn't $30. Like the crystal card, they retail for $34.99. That's because they're 80 cards. But believe that over $20,000 worth of crystals right here, and I'm not even joking. So I happen to like buying crystals, so I probably will still buy crystals. And I'm also going to tell you that, you know, if I already have the card deck and I'm somewhere, because when I travel, I'm always like, what oils to bring, and what will I need, and what supplements, and the diffuser and the Zyto, and then also, like, I can't bring 50,000 crystals in my suitcase, although sometimes I do, but most of the time I just go wherever I'm going and find a crystal shop and buy more. But if I got my card deck, then I am covered on the frequency level. I got my cards, and I'm good, and I can pull a card or whatever. So you guys can use these for crystal classes with your oils. It's a way to teach on crystals with your essential oils so people can know what to order and what they're drawn to. It's a way to get people who are not necessarily in oils, but they're super into crystals, to realize the marriage of it. And so they may want to sign up and join. There's just a lot of different things you can do with this. Now, one thing I do want to mention too is I personally believe that this has been a high emphasis right now, because I don't know if you realize, but these are minerals. This is minerals. And if you knew anything about Gary, he was a stickler for the soil. He would go in and he would put all kinds of things in the soil to make sure that when we got our bottle of oils, it was going to be packed with minerals. And that's another reason why we need other things like enzymes, probiotics, different things like that, because our body actually needs the foundations of some things. Now, if you know anything, you know, that's why people buy organic vegetables and things like that, because the mineral content of our soil have been extremely manipulated and or pretty much deleted from what used to be, you know, 40, even 20 years ago. Used to be when they test food and they find out that they use the same field over and over and over again, and they don't do anything to put back minerals. They don't give it a rest like they used to give it a rest every 7 years, and then they would rest and they would do it again, or they maybe would rest in between a year or two. They're not doing that anymore. So it doesn't have a chance to come build up, which is why Gary would be so specific about what fields he would buy, what farms he would buy. He would only pick certain farms that had never had pesticides, never had anything in the ground, and that they wouldn't be anywhere even near miles and miles away of anything that had pesticides, because that could blow onto our field and then it affects the bottle. Well, guess what? It affects food too. So when farmers are doing that, there's a depletion of minerals, which causes a depletion in our food. Well, guess what? When we enter crystals in our biofield, we're also entering the minerals that are in here, and this goes into our field. Again, I really strongly suggest you get this book, The Science of Miracles, because it goes into the whole biofield. This whole field around us is called a biofield 2 bio, because it's both radiating out and it's also magnetic, bringing things into you. And when you add oils on your body, it actually changes your biofield. And when you have a crystal or even a card, it actually changes your biofield. And again, I've been using some tools. I actually wrote this book because I was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago, and really had to change some things. I did everything completely 100% natural. Was really drawn to different crystals. I was doing raindrop therapy. I was doing vitamin C like crazy. I was doing colonics and juicing. I got off all sugar, which is why I also wrote this book, Keto Reset. It goes into, you know, if you want to starve cancer or cancer cells, this is what you could do. I mean, I'm allowed to tell my story, right? So anyway, this goes into oils and supplements and different things to stay keto. But I had a lot of things that I needed to change, and I realized that everything that I had at that point was because I had attracted it. I had made it happen. I created my own world, and then I was living in my world. And so I knew that everything was an inside job, and I had to do some things inside. I was really seeking God during that time. Chelsea knows a lot about all of that happened during that time. And I was like, you know, there's got to be another way. There's got to be something. I had several dreams, and I got these formulas in these dreams, and I would wake up and I just knew stuff. And I started taking the formulas and applying it to the things that were going in my life, and I was seeing instant results. And we have a life of miracles. We get to do stuff, and essential oils and crystals are a big part of that. But eating right, getting sunshine, resting, self-care, you guys, supplements, probiotics, enzymes, because we got to break down the food that we're eating, getting exercise, going for walks, getting fresh air. Hey, Pamela, I was just talking about you, Pamela. There's so many things that we can do, but you know, the oxygen mask has to go on us first. And it seems counterproductive because as moms and as people, you know, in this healthcare industry, we seem to like help everybody. And I had got to the part where I was so helping everyone that I had forgot about me. I'm gonna cry. So I applied this to my clients, and my clients started having miracles, not just physical miracles, but financial miracles, restoration with marriage and kids, and people out of nowhere that hadn't spoken to people were up and calling and apologizing. I mean, it was very, very uplifting. And so that's why I put it in a book. But if you guys are open to actually seeing some changes in your personal life, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, I strongly encourage you to dive in and start looking into some of these resources that can help, because I'm all about, you know, I waited until I hit, I guess, rock bottom before I had to make some changes. And you guys don't have to do that. You can just choose to do that now. And you don't have to wait until you get a diagnosis, or your husband leaves, or your kids freak out, or, you know, you lose your job or whatever. Like when, I'm a firm believer that, if the good news is, if we created it and we got there, then we can create something different too. You can make a new choice. And new choices are at your option at any given time. We can do anything. We can do anything. We can create anything. And a lot of it has to do with conscious language and frequency. So if conscious language and frequency is something that you've been drawn to, pay attention to that, because that is that thing inside of you that knows truth and hears truth. Mary said at convention, you know the truth when you hear it. And if any of this applies to you and you're feeling that, then pay attention to that and jump in and start your life of miracles, start your journey of miracles. When I applied this, like I said, I am completely clear of all health issues. My high school sweetheart came back after 25 years of not speaking to me at all. We got married. He is the love of my life. Different things have happened with my children, my business, my kids. I started working with animals, which has been, you know, I love animals. I know Chelsea does too. I've been working with a couple different rescue shelters. And, you know, what's really interesting is I always said, like, well, when I die, you know, I'm going to finally, my job in heaven is going to be working with animals. Because, and I don't know why I always said that. And here it took me almost dying to realize I don't have to freaking wait to be dead to work with animals. Like, where did I come up with that? Like, why? Anyway, I wanted to be a vet for like the longest time, but when I worked at a veterinarian and they were putting down animals and they were sick and whatever, I just couldn't deal. So I went the ministry route, and then I went to the naturopathic route. And you know what's crazy is I started fostering animals at this rescue, and we've had like 50 some kittens in the last couple years that we just nurse and work with oils. We work with the shelters and diffuse when they've had respiratory things. I've raindropped 76 kittens and cats for 4 days in a row until they lifted a quarantine. You know, there's so many. I am living my purpose right now. In a lot of different areas of my life, and to be honest, I covet your prayers. I ask for your good vibes and your vibration, because as soon as this book came out, the week this came out, I was given an opportunity to live this more than I ever have. And some things have come up in my family that I am having to like put, you know, the rubber meets the road kind of deal. And I'm having to literally, you know, the scripture says that you're tested by the word. Well, I am a living word on this right now. And so it's taking all of me to actually go back and reread my own book. This book was written in 12 hours. That's another long story. That was a miracle in itself. And but that's over an accumulation of 3 years of teaching and putting it all together. And then just having, you know, they told me you got 6 months to write this, and then it turned into you have 9 months to write this, and then it turned into you have 9 weeks to write this, and they were like, oh, hey, if you want this by convention, we're going to need this in the next 2 weeks. And I immediately told them no. I'm like, I'm not going to have it ready for you. There's no way I can write something that's been in me for this long to come out in a way that's going to make sense and be thoughtful. And then I'm like, you know what? I called them back and I said, you know what? Forgive me, because I just put a limit on myself that was totally unnecessary. And miracles happen to me every day. And, you know, God is the only power, presence acting to me, through me, in me, and around me. And if this book is supposed to happen, which it is, then I'm going to, we'll see. We'll just see what happens. I'm not going to make a commitment to it because I don't know, but I'm not going to tell you no. So the next day, I just made this decision. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make a choice to write a chapter. And I wrote a chapter, and then it became 2, and then it became 3. And then by 11 o'clock, I had 4 or 5 chapters, and it just kept going. I had to be somewhere at 4, but I was on chapter 7. I called the people and I said, forgive me, I'm not going to be there at 7 o'clock. I mean, not going to be there at 4. I'm in the middle of something. Can we do this tomorrow? By 11:30, I had 20 chapters. And so I had to call the people the next day and go, hey, remember when I said no? And then I changed my mind. I have 20 chapters. So it was quite a process. And I could not have done it without God in me doing that. And so I have already had some people from convention who read the book and have seen miracles. Like, literally, this lady came up to me, and after 21 years, her husband left, and she bought the book, and when she got home, she applied it that whole 2 days, the remaining 2 days of her convention while she was reading it. And when she got home, that night after she got home, her husband came home with everything that he had. And then, interestingly enough, she made him pull a card, and he pulled a card, and it was black obsidian. And one of the things on the black obsidian said, to be able to make your highest choice and to stick with it, to have staying power, to stay in your highest choice. So, and I've had hundreds of miracles that have come not just from the pack, but from this book. And I can't even tell you how many thousands of people are doing keto with us right now. I have a whole keto group, and hundreds and thousands of pounds people have lost or transmuted, and also got their health back, with their brain back, with their circulation back, with they're getting off all their meds. I mean, so there's a lot of things right here that you guys can dive into. And again, you guys can tag some people and follow me and all of that stuff that's listed right here to get more information on all this stuff, because I have tons of YouTubes, you know, like, we're limited, and I'm about to get off the phone here because I have another call with Bob Tennyson, but I'm going to give one of these away, and I'm also giving away a whole membership for the crystals, oils, and scriptures. And the reason why I look at scripture like quantum physics, and there's so much to the scriptures, or to scriptures, especially if you're looking at the real text and not all these random translations out there. So tag and share, and I will give that away. And you guys can, if you don't want to wait to see if you want or not, and you're just like, I just want to order it, then go ahead and order it. We sold out of the miracle books twice, and we sold out of the crystal books once. I mean, the crystal cards once during convention, and we sent in, I don't remember how many more cases, and then those sold out. So we have a few here, I don't know, maybe 500 of these here left. We have 0 of these right now, but we're getting more in August. I just had no idea. They were going to send some to us and some to convention. They sent everything to convention instead, and they sent us nothing. And so we're going to get our first print sent back to our office here the second week of August. But you can still order all of these at convention prices. I'm going to honor convention prices until we get everything in stock, and that way you guys can still order and get it. Even if you didn't go to convention, I'm going to honor convention prices just for this period of time until these books come in and can go out. So anyway, if you have any questions, I am happy to answer any questions. One more thing I'm going to say about crystals. So, you know, oils will go in your body, and they're very fluid and go straight past the brain barrier, straight past the blood barrier, right into the cells and work with your cells. Obviously, crystals are not going to go into your cells. I mean, you know, maybe if you want to get super spiritual, we could walk through walls when we get to that frequency. But it's been scientifically proven that what happens because of the molecular structure of these type of solid stones, and also the frequency, when it's introduced to any type of chaos, it instantly shifts the chaos into a structure. Now, what does that say about your biofield? You know, if you got lots of stuff going on and you're just like all over the place, or maybe you're having feelings of fear or the what ifs or whatever's going on with you in your mindset, you got to be careful, first of all, what you're thinking and what you're feeling, because what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're talking about, you're going to create. And super be careful with all of that, of what you're posting on Facebook, you guys. I'm going to talk about that in here, is how to do social media to create miracles instead of creating chaos. Because you're creating no matter what. You're either going to create on purpose, with deliberate intention, or you're going to create by default. So when we can create something positive, you're going to create anyway. So why don't you create some good shit, like good stuff, like, excuse me, but really. So when we can create good stuff comes because high frequency. So the more frequency that we can have, the better ways that we can actually create something, because whatever you create and build out here is what you're going to attract. And so again, this field is super radiating. It goes out, but it also is electric, so it comes to you. You only get what you are. So if you got something crazy going on in your head or in your mind, or if you're like mentally, you know, got a bad phone call and then you went into fear because you weren't disciplined enough to stop yourself from it, which you can. The scripture says, again, scripture not meaning like Bible church, but scripture, quantum physics. We demolish arguments and every pretension or imagination. We demolish every imagination that doesn't line up with God. We take captive every thought and then we make it obedient. How do you make it obedient? You replace it with something better, like a decree. So if you're having fear, then you decree something positive, like I am secure, I am God secure, I am love and I stay. Or God is the only presence and power acting to me, through me, in me, and around me now. Or only God touches me. Or only God sees me. Or only God hears me. Or I am the ascended Jesus Christ, permanent light, love, and victory, already attained in my marriage, or in my children, or in my business, or you fill in the blank. There's tons of decrees like this in here that you can use and make as a tool for you in whatever process you're at. And that is going to change your biofield. If this is what you require, this will actually change your biofield. These things were going to change your biofield. Guess what happens when you change your biofield? When you change your biofield, you get a different outcome, because you only get what you are. Love is the highest frequency. Different things make us have high frequency. Use all the things that make you have high frequency and you will have better outcomes. I personally love miracles. I know Chelsea does. I know her whole family does. And these are tools that can help you have your personal miracle life, because we are designed to create cool stuff all the time when we're deliberate with it, when we're on purpose with it. And look, do not make purpose be your freaking side job. You hear me? Why? Do not let your sole purpose be your side job. You are here for a reason. I am here for a reason. And if you're in this group and you're with Chelsea, then you guys have that synergy and that frequency of all of y'all to work together and really do something cool with your world and with your communities and with your team and with your schools and with your children and all of it. So jump right in and do something cool. Like, this is your opportunity. Why are you sitting in the background going like, well, hopefully things will change? You are the change. Be the change. But it starts with you in here. It starts with changing how you're thinking. It starts with changing how you're feeling. It starts with changing what you're saying. You know, we get to make those positive choices. And when you start making new choices, believe me when I tell you, if you knew what was going on, even going up to convention, my mother-in-law was in the hospital. My mom called me on my way to the other hospital to tell me, can you come over and come get your dad because he needs to go to the emergency room. As I'm going to the emergency room for my mother-in-law, she had emergency surgery. My dad didn't end up having to go to the emergency room. My mother-in-law had emergency surgery and then came home, was coughing up blood, had to go back. I mean, there was just like, my mom fell down like 2 days later. She broke her wrist there was just stuff going on with this is all in a very small amount of time, like lots of things all happening. And I was just like, Jesus, like, what am I doing to create this? And how can I uncreate it? Because the good news is we can fix it all. We can flip it. We can switch it. And I just started applying and reading my own freaking book and going like, guess what? Only God touches me and my family. Only God sees me. Only God hears me. God is the only power presence acting to me, through me, in me, and around my family now. You know, blah, 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 you know, whatever. And things started changing. Things started shifting. And right now, like I said, I am still in the middle. No, I'm not. I am already enjoying the miracles that I am excited to be able to celebrate and tell you all about as soon as possible. I love miracles and I enjoy miracles, and vote my victory as I vote your victory, because we get to do miracles together. And this is not a joke. This is your life. You are a co-creator. And these kind of tools are amazing tools for you and your team to see this stuff that we're supposed to be doing every single day. The supernatural is not supposed to be supernatural. It's supposed to be natural. It's supposed to be just normal to have miracles all the time, every day. So you start your miracle journey. Please report your miracles to me. If you have any questions, put them right here. I'm hopping on a call with Bob right now, but I love all of you. I send you my full love. I send you tons of victory, tons of good vibes. Follow me in all the things so you can hear more, understand more, learn more. Reprogram. This stuff will reprogram you. Getting a coach will reprogram you. Go find somebody that you really jive with and learn from them and get a new vibe. Because Bob Proctor, he's a fan of, I'm just a fan, but he says, if you're the smartest person on your block, get a new block. And John Maxwell said something similar. If you're the smartest one in the room, you know, get a new room. So if this is new to you, go find someone who talks like this. Go get with Chelsea. Go get with some leader. Find someone on YouTube. Read books. Self-develop. Do something. But you got to change the program. And when we change the program with these kind of tools and we start doing something from the inside out, we get a different outcome and we become the miracle life that we can absolutely have moment to moment to moment to moment. All right? I love you. I look forward to meeting you live if I haven't. If this blessed you in any way, I'd love to hear your feedback. I don't get to personally see all your little faces. I see your names. But if you ever want to inbox and go, hey, I was on your call and blah, 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 or whatever, then the best way to get me is through Facebook or Instagram. I don't email. I don't really answer my office phone. I'm just saying, because I have too many people that contact. I do coaching. Yeah. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Hey, Brittany. Hope you guys enjoyed, and please tag and share. I don't think anyone can actually win this stuff if they're not in the group. So whoever's in this group, you can tag all of those people and get your friends on their miracle journey. Like, because it's fun, right? All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.